actually a really good strength and conditioning program. Thank fuck, because like, they kind of like just naturally got to the point of having some. They would pull from like NCAA style strength coaches, but then they would convert over. At least in our facility, they were very good at like applying a good strength and conditioning approach, essentially like a power athlete approach to what our job is. And then so I would like take that and cultivate it, but I'd use the coaches quite a lot. So, but that was the scope of my job. And but we're the things that I wasn't good at, I would work on either at work or at home. So like I would do dry firing drills and got to be like a very good, especially a pistol shot. And then I shot and killed one dude on my first deployment. It was our only rifle kill on that trip. But
Nice.
so it paid off, I guess, when I hunted a guy. But other than that, it's just like putting all the work in to prepare for combat. And I had almost a year to prepare for the first trip. And then in September of 17, deployed to Afghanistan in the area where the Pakistan and Afghan border meet, and that's where ISIS-K, it's an offshoot of ISIS, was just doing ISIS things, like literally terrorizing villages, and like they would take all the village elders and like put them on a strand of det cord and just like blow them up and shit and make propaganda videos. And so these areas were being taken by ISIS, which were like enacting like a really severe Sharia law. Even the Taliban doesn't like ISIS, so like the Taliban wouldn't attack us.
But none of those people like each other.
That's yes, because it's like, or if you wait a few years, then they'll be on different sides because they're just trying to survive because there's so much fucking war there. But yeah, so that deployment was rowdy. I was living in an outpost, doing a lot of combat things. Daytime combat, like mostly valley clearance stuff, which is not the normal SF mission of going in and doing raids at night somewhere. So a lot of like airstrikes. I've had some close encounters, not in a house, but like 60-meter. I'm pinned down by a machine gun that's like 60 meters away. I've been shot at by, narrowly missed by multiple RPGs and sniper contacts. So I got like the full gamut of like the Soviet weapon firefight, like the variety of the Soviet weapons where I was engaged with. And then had 11 months in between my deployments. And then 1 month into my second deployment, basically into the same AO, about 10 to 20 kilometers away at a different outpost. We were on mission within a mile of the outpost, and I stepped on an IED. That's kind of the quick everything from Justin joining the military to Justin getting blown up. So,
oh shit, dude.
It was. But yeah, with war stuff and with respect to strength and conditioning, like I learned a lot. Like by we live in Colorado for my unit. Was in 10th Special Forces Group. And so we train a lot in terrain that is similar to Afghanistan. And so I remember I have pictures of me, like, shirtless pictures and stuff right as I was deploying. And I was like, dude, my legs were like big. And then my arms weren't as big as they are now because I was just in mountain shape and like shooting shape of just the only thing I'm moving around. I would still train and lift and everything, but I'm like moving that gun around and like wearing heavy ass kit or ruck all the time. And the farthest I've ever run was probably 200, maybe 250 meters across an open ground, like fucking scared as shit because it was just very open and everything. But other than that, it's like you walk around and then it might be like those short sprints. So it's like, whether it's like 70s big or power athlete, like we kind of come to these summaries of this is strength and conditioning applied to the activity that you're preparing for, and that seems to be your guys' thing that you prepare power athletes for. And I think it's a great training modality, and you add in, I would have a sprint every week, but some of the things I learned from that were, first off, once your bout of effort is over, the work is not over. So like I would have us sprint, like if we were on our last couple reps of 400 meters, for example, I would have us then, okay, now you have to run like a 200 meter, but it can be a jogging pace after your 400. Or sometimes I'd have us take a knee, because then you have to recover while taking a knee. And instead of just walking and, put your hands on your head and like suck the air in as much as you can, but like get down behind cover, basically, maybe have to put a tourniquet on or do something that is a part of our job, and then get up and jog another 200 while your substrates are still kind of tapped out. So I use a lot of like lactate threshold type sprints where you run like 600 to 800 meters at like a maybe 75-80% pace. So something like we would run for something a little between like 7 and 8 minute mile pace, and then after that, then we would have like a 15 to 20 second rest, and then do like a hill sprint, and then maybe have to like cognitively do something. So that was one thing I learned, was that like the work doesn't end after your period of your interval and your workout is over. So I would always try and extend out the work, whether it's like adding carries or sled pushes or drags or something after like an intense thing. And then the other thing is that like not getting hurt is really important. And that's from just remembering our conversations before, John. I remember like that obviously you had time where you were hurt in your career, and like if you're hurt, then you can't fucking do the thing. So keeping guys healthy, but also setting guys up to like be prepared for that constant load of kit and ruck that we are in combat. Because not even wearing a ruck on my last mission on my first deployment, I was 300 pounds and I weighed like 210. So just with my aid bag, grenades, ammo, food, water, and shit, it was like 90 pounds. And that was just what I was cruising around with to run around for one day to assault like 50 compounds or whatever. So yeah, but the training aspect of it was interesting, and it helped me cultivate how like you can do some specificity based stuff, but it's still like general. You're still doing like, you know, a lot of muscle, a lot of joints moving, a lot of like metabolic demand, and then trying to set people up for success, because you got to be strong to like maintain that shit. The guys that weren't strong or smaller, you could tell, like if we were on multi-day missions, that if they were up all night, then, you know, it's just like anything. If you're running at 80% of your fucking max 1RM capacity hypothetically, and I'm running at my like 50% because I'm stronger or like a little bigger, like they're just a little bit more fatigued, and who knows how that could play out in like a worst case scenario. But that's a quick rundown of like a little bit of the experience, a little bit of the strength and conditioning aspect of it.
No, I remember the first time when I got contracted by NSW to come in, they were using more like a triathlon model, you know, long swim, you know, long bike ride, long run, big bench press deal. And I asked them, I'm like, do you guys ever do anything in your mission that looks similar to this? They were like, not really. We like hike with like 90 pounds of kit on for like 5 clicks. We drop that stuff. We sprint in, we run in, we do what we're going to do, and then we run out, and then we got to walk out. And I'm like, why don't you train more similar to what you're doing there? And are you strong enough to be able to survive over time? Yeah. So that really changed my model, especially when I went and worked with those guys, where I'm like, dude, this seems crazy. I mean, like in football, we train specific for the energy demands and the time and all the other, you know, pieces of this. And it just feels like you guys are getting a lot of overuse injuries, and you guys are getting broken because you're just putting so much mileage in under this like endurance athlete mentality, when you guys are more similar on that power athlete side.
Great train and I'm right on track.